Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City. This is Metro City update number 4. I know it's been some time, and actually for this update, I wanted to include more minifigs, staging of scenes and small city builds, but I just didn't have time. But I've added a lot to Metro City, a lot of structures, the layout has been updated, so there's still a significant amount of things to see. For those of you new to the channel, Metro City is just one section of Small Brick City, my custom Lego city. It's on an isolated table which measures about 7.5 base plates wide by 2 1/4 base plates deep. It represents a cross-section of a metropolitan city. The other 4 levels of Small Brick City each represent a cross-section of another part of the overall city. But today's video is solely focused on Metro City. What you see in front of you is the main street for Metro City. Back there is the elevated train station, or the PART, Public Automated Rapid Transit, and is actually my remodel of the Ghostbusters HQ along with a combination of the Web Slingers Ultimate Bridge Battle. And if you want to see a video on this remodel, you can check out the link in the card above or in the description below. I've added that Technic rescue helicopter over there. I've yet to build the helipad on the train station, but that will be done in time to come. Other than that, there are not much major changes, but I'll give you a close-up view starting with this corner over here, which is the detective's office. This is the detective's office as you know it, and I've added a billboard above it, and this is a double billboard, so you'll see the other side in just a bit. And I've added a payphone round the corner of the detective's office, and there are a couple of these all across the city. Over the main street, which has various vehicles, we've got the brick bank, and there's a coffee stand just in front of it. My brick bank is slightly modified because I've added some ATMs on the side. There is a mini scene here, and that's a drunk sailor with a policeman waking him up. Next to the brick bank, we have my Lego modular building, and this is a half modular building, 16 studs wide, and this is my 6-in-1 combo building. If you'd like to check out this video, you can follow the link in the card above or in the description below. And next to it, we have my mock for the corner deli, and we have a tourist in Small Brick City. This is Zabadek, all the way from the Netherlands, and he's buying a sandwich from the corner deli. Now we come round the other side of the corner deli, and this is actually a mock where I've transformed the corner deli into a half modular building, and it's a split design because the back of the corner deli is a newsstand on the ground floor, as well as a shady lawyer's office on the top floor, and you can see that shady lawyer right here. Across from him is an alley, and I'll let you have a look at this alley first because this is Gastro Alley, my original food street, which has many different food stalls. There's a kebab stall over here, there's a tiki juice bar, there's a pizza stall, and over here we have an Asian noodle store. And if you can just see around this supports for the train tracks, we can see a table where minifigs are actually eating. And we can grab a view right over there. This back alley serves as the back of the corner deli, as well as my Lego store and the brick bank. And currently we can see that there's some deliveries being made to the Lego store. And here's a view of the back alley that goes all the way to the main street, and it actually goes through to the park connector and all the way to another street on the opposite side of this city display. Here's a look into and through the train station. So remember, this is just a cross section. That's why this particular track, and there's a missing piece over here. Obviously the cat has got to it, but this is the train support, and this is a cross section, so it ends here, but you can see all the way into the train station right there, and you can see the train all the way right through. Here's another angle of the alley between the elevated train station and the brick bank. That's the Lego van or truck, and there's another payphone over here just around the corner from the entrance of the train station. And across the main street from the train station, we have the main bus stop right over here. And behind it, we have a green park connector. And this is actually behind the detective's office. And you can see there's a kids merry-go-round, a hot dog vendor, and there's an alley which leads to another main road. And this is the back of my old weathered church. those are actually the stained glass windows. Here's a look at the back of the display, starting with Gastro Alley. Next to it, there's a dumpster with a rat, and this is the side of the train station. You can see the elevated track coming out from the mouth of the train station above, all the way across and down below. And of course, this is Main Street, and that's the main pedestrian entrance or exit of the train station. Across from the main street, I placed this little sculpture over here of 3 bricks. To me, this is really an old city. Metro City is an old city which has been developed over time to be more modern, just like many cities. And I wanted some kind of old sculpture, so I just placed this here for now. There's a bit of vandalism, and next to it we have the old church. And I've actually done some changes to this church, so let's have a closer look at the church right now. Here's a closer look at the old church, and you can see I've improved the look of the weathering by changing some of the positions of the masonry bricks, as well as adding in these light tan bricks just to give kind of a gradual weathered look, so it just doesn't look white and then these medium orange masonry bricks. So this gives a more gradual weathered look, a bit more textured, and it just fits the whole discoloration going down. And based on the suggestions from different subscribers, I do have, as far as I can, these wall creepers starting from the ground. And I've done so for this side as well, a similar treatment. And over here on the side of the tower, I've just added a little wall creeper there, so that's just a bit isolated. And for the front, I've remained the same, and of course I do have the light stacks in, and that's just to create that nice lit stained glass look if I want. Moving down from Main Street, we come to another street parallel to it, which is also really busy. I've got no name for this, but we'll call this 2nd Street for now. At the corner, we have a car dealership. You can see cars below as well as above in the showroom, which is also the car dealership office, and the stairs to go up to the showroom right over here. And next to that, we have an alley, and at the mouth of the alley is the flower cart. Now this alley actually leads all the way to the park connector, which I showed earlier on. Next to it, we have a coffee shop mock, and next to it we have a pizzeria as well as an apartment building. This is built from the Sanctum Sanctorum set, and I've converted it into a full 16 by 16 building. Over here we can see the part, which is the elevated train system, and that's another view of the train station there with the helicopter on top. Across from 2nd Street, we have the corner garage. This is the newest section of Metro City. So this corner garage, next to that, we have the tiny modular building, which is a bookstore and apartment. You can check out the video for this tiny modular in the link in the card or in the description. And next to it, we have the downtown diner. On the other side of the corner garage, we have my other tiny modular building, which is an ice cream parlor and a pastry school. There's an alley, and then next to it is a standalone building. That's my work in progress skyscraper. This is round the corner from the downtown diner, and you can see I've created a back alley behind the buildings, and this alley goes all the way to the 2nd Street, and across from the 2nd Street again there's another alley and the park connector that leads all the way to the main street and to the alley behind the elevated train station all the way to Gastro Alley. And that's generally the way I feel a city should be designed. Instead of putting long rows of modulars, I suggest creating many blocks with alleys in between and by the side to replicate a real city. Of course, there are cities with rows of buildings, but remember, you're working with a Lego scale, so it's much smaller than in real life. So your blocks should also be smaller. And I think it's much more interesting to create mini blocks with alleys rather than just long rows of buildings. There's just more to see, because when a casual viewer looks at a whole row of buildings, after a while everything blends in. But with different clusters of buildings to form small blocks and alleys weaving in and out behind and at the side of the buildings, it just makes things more interesting and allows for more scenes to be staged and just more interesting things to look at. For example, it looks like we have a family over here. It's Joe McLeod Iredale and his family. That's Joe on the phone, his wife Miriam, and his 2 daughters Matilda and Verity. Now it seems that they are lost because there are tourists in Small Brick City and they wanted to visit Brick Beach, but obviously Joe led them in the wrong direction, and that's why he's on the phone now trying to get directions to go to Brick Beach. You might be wondering, where's their mobile phones? Well, they're on holiday, so all their phones have been banned. Here's a look at the back of the display of the new part of Metro City. This is directly behind the downtown diner. These two buildings are half modular sized buildings. There's a custom townhouse mock as well as the pet shop, which I've also modified, with the second floor being the vet's clinic from the corner garage. These two buildings are placeholders for now, as eventually any skyscraper is going to be over here. This is a small alley because I do like to create alleys, and over here we have the skyscraper which I am working on. I'm going to complete at least the structure very soon because parts have already arrived. This is the back look at 2nd Street, and here's another angle of the pizzeria as well as the coffee shop mock and the flower cart. And directly behind this is the old church which you saw earlier. I hope you enjoyed this Metro City update. If you've got any suggestions or feedback, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel and do remember to turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.